Hi, everybody, and welcome into another edition of Saints Live, coming your way from the Limestone campus here in the Stevenson Dining Hall. Yes, thank you so much, and live here on WZZQ 104.3 FM, 1500 AM, and online at WZZQradio.com. It is a swim special today, as we're going to talk about the Limestone swim program. Coach Doyle here today to talk about both the men's and the women's teams. We also have women's swim standout Emily Ray as our student athlete sports spotlight this week. So we look forward to talking with those two about the Limestone swimming programs coming up in just a bit. Well, we have two fall sports teams, or rather four fall sports teams that continue to appear in the latest national rankings. Women's field hockey is number 6. Men's soccer is now number 9. And congratulations to Coach Eric Alsop and the men's soccer program, who have won the outright Conference Carolinas regular season championship. Both the men's soccer team and the women's soccer team will host quarterfinal round games next week. And if the men's soccer team wins, the Saints would also play host to the semifinals and championship rounds as well. More information on that available online in the coming days at GoLimestoneSaints.com. Also, men's and women's golf continue to have fantastic fall seasons. Both of the programs are rated number 19 in the latest national ratings. The women's basketball team at Limestone traveling up to Durham, North Carolina on this Thursday to take on Duke in exhibition play at Cameron Indoor Stadium. They'll tip that one off at 6:30. Wrestling, that's right, the 2014-2015 wrestling season for Limestone will get underway this weekend when the Saints participate at the Citadel Open. And as I mentioned earlier, more news and notes on Limestone Athletics available online at the official website of the Saints at GoLimestoneSaints.com. Each and every Thursday, we come your way from the Stevenson Dining Hall with Saints Live as we have various interviews with both coaches and student athletes. We're off and running for our latest show, the last of the month of October. We invite you to stay tuned. There's more to come when Saints Live continues from the Stevenson Dining Center on the Limestone campus after these messages on Gaffney's Hot FM. One as Saints Live continues from the Stevenson Dining Center on the campus of Limestone College and on Gaffney's Hot FM, WZZQ 104.3 FM. It's a swim special today to close out our October series of shows. Women's swim standout Emily Ray joins us this afternoon. Emily, thanks for taking time to join us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, so far, a great swim season for you. You picked up where you left off last year.
Yeah. It's been a decent start to my season. Not exactly where I want to be, but it's been okay.
Yeah, something you can certainly build on. Before we proceed, I know you've got some members not only from the women's team that are here today, but also some of the men's swimmers are here. We can't see them on camera right now, but why don't you tell us who all's here today from the swim programs?
We have Dennis, Sophie, Anton, Angelina, Raul, Christian, Homayon, Danielle, Kyle, Alex, and we've got Ashley over there.
What attracted you to come to Limestone and continue your swim career here?
Well, I swam with a girl who went here. We swam club together, and she was really trying to get me to come here. So I decided to take a look, and I just fell in love.
And from a long way, Yuma, Arizona. So tell us about coming from Yuma to Gaffney, South Carolina, in the Rock.
It's quite a difference. I'm so used to nothing green, just heat and dry heat, and then here it's all green and all humidity, and it doesn't really do favors for my hair. But
you're a biology major. Talk about that.
Well, ever since I was little, I've always wanted to do something like in nursing or veterinary care, so I figured this is the closest thing we have here. So
you have a large family. Tell us about your 4 siblings.
I have 2 older sisters, a little sister, and a little brother.
What was that like growing up? Is it a competitive family? Do they play sports?
Yeah, I'm more competitive than probably the rest of my family is, especially with my younger siblings. But all of my family has done a sport at least once in their life. So,
Before we talk about some of your experiences academically here at Limestone, let's talk a little bit about the career that you've had, because it has been a standout career. Last year, you earned NCAA All-American honors in the 50-yard freestyle. And for that means at the NCAAs you have to finish within the top 8. So that was a pretty strong performance for you. Talk about that.
yeah. Well, I was just so ecstatic. It's a big accomplishment for me. Like I was a little disappointed with the placing, but I can't really complain because it's an automatic All-American, and not a lot of people can say that they can do that. So.
What is that experience like to be able to go out there and compete in the NCAA Nationals?
Well, it's a rewarding experience. You get to swim and compete against people that you don't normally see. I mean, obviously we had some people from our conference there, like Wingate and Queens, but just being able to see all these different people from different parts of the nation, it's really incredible, really.
Now, Emily also earned All-American honorable mention honors last year in the 100-yard and 200-yard freestyles, and of course, all Bluegrass Mountain Conference honoree in the 50, 100, and 200-yard freestyles. And so far, you've gotten the 14-15 season off to a good start. Just a while back, a few weeks ago here in the month, you had an impressive showing up at Catawba where you won the 100-yard freestyle and the 50-yard freestyle. So do the wins ever get old?
Not really. It's not about winning. It's about time for me. Like I'm more than happy when my teammates beat me. Like I'm more time oriented, so if somebody beats me, I'm happy for them. It's just about my times.
Not only a standout individually, but also as far as relay teams are concerned. I guess the first event of the athletic year for the swim team this year was up at the Conference Carolinas Invitational, and you were on 3 relay teams that took home victories. I don't know that this is a fair question to ask you, but is one easier to do than the other? Is an individual competition easier than a team relay event, or are they about the same?
I feel like they're about the same, except for the 800 freestyle relay. That one's, I feel, a little bit harder just because it's nerve-wracking having 3 other people having to swim the same thing, and I mean, it's just a long event. So
let's talk about your days here at Limestone from the academic side of things. We all realize we get to see you swim in the pool. We don't realize the countless hours that you're putting in practice-wise. We never see that. We only see you on competition day. But you're also here at the same time to get an education. Mm-hmm. Talked about the fact that you're a biology major. Talk about things from the athletic side of things here at the Rock.
Well, I really like that Limestone is so athletic oriented because, I mean, your teachers, they understand and they will help you out if you're struggling, and they know that if you're having a hard time in practice, maybe you're not necessarily, your mind might not be as focused in classes, so they understand, and still they can take you aside and be like, hey, it's okay, like, I understand, and it's just...
One thing that we may not know, I'm going to put you on the spot here. You got Greg Doyle sitting here with us today. What's one thing that we may want to know about Coach Doyle? Any interesting stories about the coach there? You get an opportunity. What's he meant to you as a swimmer?
Well, because he's young, I think he understands us better, and I think that also plays into like the whole team coach dynamic. He's a bit of a trickster, so he likes to pull pranks on us. But
Well, listen, best of luck
you.
the rest of the athletic year here at Limestone, and we wish you equal, if not more, success than the standout year that you had last year.
thank you very much.
Emily Ray, our guest during this segment of Saints Live. We invite you to stay tuned. We still have a lot more to come your way. We're going to go to the top of the ladder with the swim programs here at the Rock and talk with Greg Doyle. Now, on the backside of this timeout, we continue from the Stevenson Dining Center with Saints Live on Gaffney's Hot FM. Welcome back, everyone, to Saints Live. An inside look at Limestone Athletics continues from the Stevenson Dining Hall here on the campus of Limestone College. I'm Fabian Fuentes. We're now joined by the head coach of the Limestone Swim programs, and Greg Doyle, who begins season number 2 at the helm of the two sports.
Yes, sir. Season number 2, and I'm not looking back at this point.
off and running. You already have 2 events under your belt. The Conference Carolina's Invitational, and then you were able to take care of business against Catawba. Talk about the first 2 meets of the year, Coach.
Yeah, Conference Carolina, that meet, great meet. You know, it kind of set us up for the year as far as, you know, what's expected, what we need to work on, things like that. Going into Catawba, you know, they're a smaller team. I kind of played with the roster a little too much. It got too close for comfort toward the end of the meet on the men's side. So it was a little stressful, that meet, but, you know, we pulled it out, and it was a good win.
So when you talk about playing with the roster, for, you know, you can take a look at me and see I'm the furthest thing from being an elite athlete when it comes to swimming. Now, I know my limitations, but when you say you messed with the roster, is that like the lineup card?
That is. Last year we had 15 men. This year we have 24 men. I felt like I could give some individuals more opportunity to race, you know, trying to mix up some events, you know, some off events for some people. So it was fun, but it was nerve-wracking at the same time.
Well, let's talk about the men. Who are some of the key performers? I know you mentioned the numbers that you have, but there's always a core group of guys that are the go-to swimmers.
That's correct. You know, we have a big class on the men's side. The majority are freshmen, but those returners, the returners really, you know, they've built this program to what it is. On the men's side, you know, the upperclassmen as far as Christian Larson, Tobias Feigl, Raul Uranga, Vinny Sportello, Douglas Trigo, Dennis Schultz. You know, they're all very instrumental in everything that we do, and, you know, the individual and the relays as well. So it's a class that continues to excel, and we look forward to the results.
How about on the women's side? We've had an opportunity to talk with Emily Ray, but what's going on with the women's team?
Women's class as well. We're a lot bigger than we were last year. This year, again, upperclassmen are very instrumental. We lose quite a few seniors this year who it's going to hurt the program, but with recruiting and things like that, we look forward to moving forward. But on the women's side, you know, Emily Ray, Rachel Hickey, Patty Santa Fe, you know, just a good, solid group of girls. A lot of depth on both sides.
I hear you're a prankster, you're a trickster.
I try to keep it fun. I keep it fun. I keep it interesting. You know, they don't expect what's coming next, so it's fun.
Coach Doyle, how about the difference for you in year 2 as compared to year 1?
It's just a young team, building year. You know, last year was kind of a year for me to kind of more or less win the athlete over, you know, kind of sell my approach and my coaching philosophy. I think this year it's a little bit more relaxed, and we can kind of focus on the fine-tuning of swimming and focus on, you know, getting more to nationals and just doing better as a program, you know, both in the community and athletically and academically.
Now your meets are held in the Timken Aquatic Center. Let's talk about, I think you have a meet coming up in the very, very near future.
We do. We have a meet this Saturday, November 1st. It's against Carson Newman. It's probably going to be one of our toughest meets of the year. It's a 2-year program that just started, or this is their 2nd year of the program, but a lot of depth, and they brought in a very strong class that is going to challenge us, and we're going to have to give it our all. We're going to go up hard against them.
Now, your days here at Limestone, as we mentioned earlier, you're entering year number 2. What was it that convinced you to take over the Limestone swim program on a permanent basis just a couple of years ago?
Sure. Before coming here, I was with Washington and Lee. It's a Division III school in Virginia, and they're also in the Bluegrass. So it was exciting. exciting to kind of see Limestone and then see the vacancy, and I knew it was a team that had a lot of potential, and I thought it was a great opportunity to take a head coaching role, and I'm glad I did. It's been a great experience and really rewarding, very rewarding.
Now you just mentioned something interesting, the Bluegrass Mountain Conference. Let's talk about some of the teams that are in there.
Sure. Bluegrass Mountain Conference is an independent conference. It's Queens, Wingate, Catawba, Lenore Ryan, Pfeiffer, Carson Newman, Johns Hopkins. Above the Division III schools, it's Johns Hopkins. I mentioned Washington and Lee being in Bluegrass Mountain. They're actually no longer. So it's a big conference. It's a strong conference. I would say it's probably one of the fastest conferences, for Division II swimming in the country.
So is that something that kind of helps when the NCAAs get here, the swimmers' performances, getting them in?
Absolutely. Some of the guys and ladies that we race against at Bluegrass are the best in the country. They're coming in the top three in the country. So it's great competition, and for us to be able to sneak in and get a first or a second or third to beat those guys out, that's what gets us there.
Finally, would like to touch base with you, the Timken Aquatic Center.
Yep.
One of the finer facilities that Division II programs get to have. Tell us a little bit about that facility.
Yeah, great facility, fast pool. With any pool, there's always room for improvement and upgrade. But this pool has been great. I look at this pool as our home. This is where we train. This is where we compete. It makes fast swimmers. This pool is just as good as the pool up the road. So we're happy where we are.
How about the training that these swimmers have to put in?
Yeah, Monday through Friday, we push that 20-hour rule. Mornings, they're some of the earliest risers on campus. They're up at 4:30 in the morning, so their schedule is busy, very busy with academics.
Academics and getting set for the swim season. Does most of the training take place in the pool, or is there some cardiovascular training where they've got to hit the pavement and run a little bit? Tell us about how some of those workouts.
Sure. We, in the start of the season, we try to get everyone on the same page as far as the cardiovascular. They will run in the beginning of the season. I would say 3/4 of the team hates running. Being a swimmer, they should stay in the pool. We kind of see a lot of injury when we go to the land. So, but we do a lot of dry land. We do dry land twice a week for about an hour each time, in addition to some running and a lot of plyo type workout.
So finally, as we close out, realistic expectations for the swim programs this year. I believe you said on the ladies' side you lost quite a few seniors from last year. So looking down the road, we all want to have that big time, goal at the end of the year. But realistically, how do you feel about 2014-15?
I think this year is going to be stronger yet. When I mentioned the big class, that's actually this year. The graduating class this year is big. Last year we lost a few impact swimmers, but I think with the returns and with the freshmen that we have on campus, I think we're going to be stronger than last year. As far as the conference level, I hope to finish in the top three, and I think that we can definitely give those teams a good run for the money. So. And
of course, we want to remind folks that they can keep up with you and keep up with the Limestone Swim program at GoLimestoneSaints.com, the official website of Limestone Athletics. Swimmer bios, roster, schedules, everything that you will need, and including the big upcoming event. Again, remind us and the time of the meet coming up Saturday.
This Saturday, November 1st, 1 p.m. start at Timken. It's going to be a fast meet. I think it's going to be one of the best meets of the year.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, Greg Doyle, the head coach of the Limestone Swim programs, our guest during this segment of Saints Live. Stay with us for the final segment when we continue from the Stevenson Dining Center after these messages on Gaffney's Hot FM.